Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Guam. We are sitting at the position of the Japanese headquarters, looking down at the American landing beaches during the Second Battle of Guam in 1944. This is the headquarters of General Takeshima. First, we will talk about what the Japanese military and Japanese government were saying to the soldiers before the landing. Major General Kiyoshi Shigemitsu, shoring up the morale of his 48th Independent Mixed Brigade, told his men, "The enemy, overconfident because of his successful landing on Saipan, is planning a reckless and insufficiently prepared landing on Guam. We have an excellent opportunity to annihilate him on the beaches." Premier Hideki Tojo, Supreme Commander of the war effort for Japan, also had spirited words for his embattled commanders. "Because the fate of the Japanese Empire depends on the result of your operation, inspire the spirit of officers and men, and to the very end continue to destroy the enemy gallantly and persistently, thus alleviate the anxiety of the Emperor." Back to visit Guam a half-century later, a former Japanese lieutenant said the tremendous American invasion fleet offshore had paved the sea, and recalled what he thought on 21st July. "This is the day I will die. Conditions," said Admiral Connolly, "are most favorable for a successful landing." Ashore in the north. Troops of the 3rd Marine Division landed virtually in the lap of the Japanese island commander, General Takashina, whose U-shaped cave command post, carved out of a sandstone cliff, overlooked the Asan Adalu beachhead. The looming heights dominated the beaches, particularly on the left and center, where the 3rd and 21st Marines were headed for the shore. W Day, 21st July 1944, opened as a beautiful day, like today, but it soon turned hazy as the violent clouds of smoke, dust, and fire spiraled skyward. At 0808, an air observer shouted into his microphone, "First wave on the beach." At 8:33, the same airborne announcer confirmed the battle was on, with troops ashore on all beaches. The 3rd Marines under Colonel W. Carville Hall struck on the far left of the 2,500-yard beachhead, the left flank of the division near Adalu Point. Ahead was Chinito Cliff, a ridge later named Bunshu Ridge, and high difficult ground in back of which was the final beachhead line, the FBHL, or first goal of the landing. We're sitting on it. The center, straight up the middle, belonged to the 21st Marines under Colonel Arthur H. Tex Butler. The regiment would drive inland, secure a line of cliffs, and defend them until the division caught up and was ready to expand the beachhead outward. Under Colonel Edward A. Craig, the 9th Marines landed on the right flank near Asan Point, at that point out there, ready to strike inland over paddies to and across lower and more hospitable hills, but all part of the same formidable enemy-held ridgeline here. The 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines, under Lieutenant Colonel Walter Asmuth Jr., caught intense fire in the front and right flank near Asan Point, and he had to call on tanks for assistance. But one company got to the ridge quite rapidly, the ridge down there, and threw the defenders at Asan Point off balance, making the regiment's advance easier. It would also be up to the 9th Marines to take Cabras, a little island offshore and hard against Apra Harbor. That is Asan Point over there. This would be accomplished with a separate amphibious landing, with its 2nd and 3rd battalions in the lead. The 9th Marines drove through its initial objectives quickly and had to slacken its advance in order not to thin out the division's lines. Colonel Butler's 21st Marines, in a stroke of luck, which would later be called unbelievable, found 2 unguarded defiles on either side of the regiment's zone of action. The whole position didn't have any soldiers in them. His troops climbed straight to the cliff tops. No attempt was made to keep contact going up, but on top, the 2nd and 3rd battalions formed a bridge covering both defiles. The 1st battalion swept the area below the cliffs.